Hi, my name is Ryan Chirino, and for my summer reading project, I have chosen the book The Glass Menagerie by Tennessee Williams. So I would like to start off my report with a little information about our author. So the author of The Glass Menagerie was a man by the name of Thomas Lanier Williams III, although when he wrote, he went by the pseudonym Tennessee Williams. So Thomas, or Tennessee, was born in Columbus, Mississippi on March 26, 1911, to his parents Edwina Dakin and Cornelius Coffin. So in the early years of his career, Tennessee Williams was a struggling playwright until around the age of 33, when he struck gold with the success of his play The Glass Menagerie, which premiered in Chicago in 1944. This play put him on the map and put him into the public eye, which proved very valuable, as within the coming years, his next play, A Streetcar Named Desire, instantly cemented him in the theater world as one of the greatest playwrights of all time. Sadly, on February 25th, 1983, Williams was found in his hotel room dead at the age of 71, reportedly killed of a toxic level of seconal in his body. So now I would like to give a brief plot summary of the play. So like I said before, the play follows the Wingfield family. Tom Wingfield works at a shoe warehouse at a job that he absolutely hates to try and make enough money to support his mother Amanda and his sister Laura. Amanda is constantly arguing with on Tom's and Laura's case. She's on Tom's case because of his frequent escaping from reality by watching movies and going to the movies at night, and she's always on Laura's case because she wants Laura to attract some, to quote her, male suitors, because when Amanda was Laura's age in high school, she was quite the attractor, to quote her, around 17 at one time. But Laura has a problem with this, as she is very self-conscious because of a childhood disease that left her leg that really messed up her leg and causes her to limp, which makes her very self-conscious and shy. Now, during one of Tom and his mother's arguments, Tom accidentally knocks over a few of the glass animals in Laura's collection, which Laura uses this glass animal collection to sort of escape from reality, kind of like Tom does with going to the movies. So after he knocks over these things, he knocks over the glass animals, Amanda tells Tom to look around the warehouse to see if he could find anybody to go on a date with Laura. So Tom does find somebody, a man by the name of Jim O'Connor, and invites him to dinner. When Jim gets there, Laura is too nervous to talk to him and stays up in her room pretending to be sick. So while Laura is hiding, Tom and Jim sit down and talk about the warehouse, where it is revealed that Tom spent the money that was supposed to go to the electricity bill and spent it to sign up to be a sailor or seaman. So while they're having dinner, the power goes out due to the not paid electric bill, which makes Amanda tell Jim to go and try to entertain Laura while Tom and Amanda clean up. So Jim goes to see Laura, and Laura tells him that she knows who he is, as they went to high school together, and Laura had quite the crush on him. So they're talking, they're having a nice time, and Laura goes to show Jim her favorite animal in her glass collection, which is this tiny glass unicorn. So later on, they begin to dance, and accidentally while dancing, Tom knocks over the glass unicorn and breaks the horn off. Laura is very understanding, and Jim is very apologetic. And suddenly, Jim goes and kisses her. Almost immediately after this, Jim starts sort of freaking out and says that he has to go because Jim, according to him, had got too caught up in the moment, as Jim actually has a fiance. So Jim leaves very fast, telling Amanda that he has to go as he has a meeting with his fiance. So when he leaves, Amanda turns to Tom, obviously upset, but Tom had no idea that Jim was engaged. And the play ends with Tom leaving Amanda and Laura behind and finding himself unable to leave behind the memories of his sister Laura. Moving on to the main conflict of the play, I would say that the main conflict of the play would be reality versus the characters. So throughout the play, we see many examples of this. The most, prominent example would be Laura's glass menagerie. Laura uses this glass zoo that she has to kind of escape from reality in the world that she lives in, because she is too self-conscious and shy about her leg to ever go out into the real world and talk to people. So she kind of hides behind this glass, her glass collection. We also see this in Tom, who, in order to try to escape his struggle at working at this job that he hates, he goes out almost every night to the movies to try and just escape for a few hours. And lastly, we can see one more example of this in their mother Amanda, who is constantly trying to vicariously through Laura live her old glory days from when she was young. All of these characters are too busy fighting with the reality of what their situation is and trying to hide behind things in their life to try to not deal with it. This conflict, I would say, is only really resolved in Laura, as after her night with Jim, she gains confidence and is now more confident going forward in her life. However, in the case of her mother and her brother, I don't really see their problem of escaping from reality to be fixed, especially with Tom, as we see that he's still just trying to run away as he joins to be a seaman. One of the funny moments in Glass Menagerie comes around the very beginning, where Tom and Laura are sitting there listening to their mother tell the same story that they've heard a million times again, and they just have the same happy-go-lucky attitude, even though they've heard it a million times and are so sick of it. I think that's the funniest, and it's very relatable, as I'm sure that's happened to everybody. It's happened to me. Finally, to wrap up this report, I think people should read this book because it teaches a very valuable lesson about being able to face reality and not hide from it. Tennessee Williams really wants to, emphasize that we shouldn't be hiding from the real world. We should be ready to face it. And I think that's a great message for people back then, and for people now, for people in the future to understand and realize.